Hi.
Hey, Aletha, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it's a nice sunshiny day here in Rexburg.
Yeah, it's been nice and sunshiny here today to the tune of 106 degrees.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's only about 70 here.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you.
Just a heads up, I can only stay till 7:30 at the latest today.
Okay.
And thanks for meeting earlier this week. It's
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I found out I met with my academic advisor, and she told me that the other institute class that I was taking, that I basically wasn't going to get any credit for it,
Oh yeah.
and that it would count as an upper division class requirement, but only if I did it through BYU Idaho instead of institute. So I
Uh-huh.
was like, I may as well drop it and spend more time on the law class. So
Yeah.
worked out both ways. So I'll be honest though, this week I'm not getting it. I don't know why I'm not getting it. It's like, what? I actually thought it was going to be easy because Dad had an LLC. So I thought, oh yeah, that can't be that hard. But now after I read it, I'm just more confused. I really am.
Did you get my example? I sent it
Oh,
out.
I didn't get it. Let's
Okay, I
see.
must I must have not sent it out. But I got it kind of. I mean, we had talked about this in my accounting class, the differences between um, a sole proprietor, a partnership, and then a corporation. So I kind of understood it.
Uh-huh.
I just didn't like the nitty gritty details. I'm afraid we're going to be tested on those. But, yeah.
Yeah. I sure hope not.
Yeah. But I understood most of it. Um, I really like the stuff on where they just talked about the differences. There were like 3 pages of that.
Yeah, where it's like the columns.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was more instructional than any of it.
Yeah, and that's actually what I've been looking at over the last hour, which has been more helpful to kind of let me see the differences side by side. But I didn't really know how to give an example of the differences. I mean, that's what I was kind of confused on. I was like, well, because there is a difference. I, I don't know what else to say.
Um, you bring up a good point. I'm going to show you my example,
Okay.
and okay. I think it still needs a little work on the explanation, but I really like the question.
Okay. Okay, Jen seems to be trained. No. Okay. Can't be an S corporation because no. No crying. Okay. So the answer would be A.
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
Yes.
See, and that was even hard for me.
Well, I think if people are taking it, they can look it up in the book, and that's one of the first things they'll recognize is the number. I always get numbers really well, so it's like if it has more than 100 shareholders, it cannot be a S corporation.
Okay. And see, and I guess where I got confused is like in all the examples that I looked at, it was basically saying that an LLC was a single member owner.
Uh-huh.
But that, from what I'm seeing in the reading, that's not necessarily the case. You can have multiple members.
Yes.
And so I don't know why I'm confused on that.
Let me look this up just a little bit.
Because it says owners, and then it says for an LLC, it's the members. But for an S corporation, it's the stockholders. Is that right?
Well, I think one of the main differences is that LLC has no restriction on the number or kind of owners. So, like you were saying, like it could be owned by stockholders. It could be owned by a partnership. It could be. I don't think an LLC could be a corporation, but I think it could be owned by a partnership or different types of stockholders. Like in this example, they have to be the same class of stock.
What's wrong with you?
So everybody has to have the same type and amount.
Kind of. Let me read some of it. It says, like, do you know what preferred stock is?
Yes.
Okay. Like, a S corporation can't have preferred stock, but it can have voting differences. I think that's one of the biggest things. The thing I wasn't super sure about is it says the family is very broadly defined. To determine the number of shareholders that an S corporation is deemed to have, all members of the family are treated as one shareholder. Does that mean like each person gets one share, or that like the whole family gets one share? That's my biggest question.
Okay, phrase that question again.
It talks about to determine the number of shareholders that an S corporation is to have, all members of the family are treated as one shareholder. Now, does that mean each individual member is a shareholder? Like if there's 7 people, or there's 7 shares? Or if it's just one family, is that one family of 7? Is that just one share?
I took it as each member.
Each member? Okay, that's what I thought, but I was kind of doubting myself there. Wasn't sure.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Okay.
I think that's also the difference between an LLC. An LLC can have, like, different family members could have more than one share.
Okay. See, and what I was going to do in my example, which I haven't done yet, so I apologize for that.
Oh, that's okay.
But the thing that I was going to use in mine was how with an S corporation, and correct me if I'm wrong, with an S corporation, the individual and the corporation is taxable, where in the LLC it's just the individual is taxable, correct?
Yes, only the employees or like the individuals are taxable, not the corporation.
Okay, yeah. So that was the example I was going to use, but I couldn't think of an example of how could I word that is what I was trying to think of, and the only thing I could think of was my dad's business, which was difficult to put as an example because my dad was the only employee. It was like, duh. So, I don't know. So that mine's going to be something along the taxable lines. I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
Not yet. So,
Yeah. There were a lot of other stuff that, like, I understood about the charter and the Article of Confederations. That made sense. I mean, I didn't have many questions. I mean, we can go over what you want to go over.
what as far as the reading,
Yeah.
I just my biggest thing is if you give me two things to compare, I'm okay. Once you give me more than two things, I'm like, wait, what? So that's my biggest problem is that it's just a lot of information, and I don't. Okay, now if you're gonna cry, go to your room. And it's hard for me to be able to put them all next to each other and know what I'm trying to compare.
Uh-huh.
So it's just a lot. So
Did you understand what it meant by estampes?
okay, no, because I don't even know where that is.
It's right after the charts, the columns. I think it's
Oh.
3 or 4 pages after that. It's right after it talks about creation of partnerships, and then it gets like the by implied agreement.
Right, that's where I'm at now. Oh, by stopping. Uh, this was somewhere else.
I mean, it sounds familiar, but I wasn't quite sure if I was getting it.
This was in the UCC stuff.
Uh-huh.
So this is where it's talking about like if you have what was the description I was thinking about the other day? It's like where if they gave the example in the book where there was like a third party benefactor,
Uh-huh.
and they gave the example of the estoppel because the third party ended up losing stocks because of the bee pollination not occurring or something like that. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah, and so then it was like the third party benefactor was able to establish the partnership by estoppel and was able to be reimbursed for loss of pollination of his crops and the declination in his crop production.
Okay.
So I don't know that that helps, except for I know that that was in the UCC stuff too.
Yeah, it makes a bit of sense. I was going over the example again, and it makes more sense this time. It talks about how the third party member. Well, the example. Here, I'll tell you the example. The example was that Sam tells Big Bank that he's a partner with Rick, and because of that, the bank extends him credit. But Rick didn't know about the deal. He wasn't in on it. So the bank eventually sues both Rick and Sam for not paying.
Right.
And then it talks about how, like, Rick really isn't liable, but he is liable. What he can then do is turn over to Sam and sue him.
Right.
I mean, it's not a real partnership. I mean, that's what it's trying to establish. And we have it by express agreement, by implied, and then by estoppel. So estoppel is like you're not needing to be in on the agreement.
Right.
But you're liable, but you're not liable. You get to sue your partner because
Right. Your partner that's not really your partner.
yes, you don't consent to have him.
Exactly.
I like how it talked about authority. Like how some partners, like limited partners, don't have authority to work, do certain things.
Yeah.
But it talks about how sometimes they appear to have more power than they do, and that can lead to problems.
Now, partner as agent and fiduciary. Each partner is an agent for the other partner. A high fiduciary duty and care similar to that of partner principal agent relationship. Okay, so where it talks about a partner as agent and fiduciary.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
I don't. That is. Where is that? That's after.
Yeah, I found it.
I didn't really. The example helped me. That's right before your authority of partners thing that you were talking about. When the interest of partner PR conflicts with poly partner's personal interests, poly must remain loyal to PR's interests. Poly must not keep pertinent information from her fellow partners, but she must account to the entire partnership for any personal gains made while using PR property or otherwise acting in her role as a partner. No, I didn't really understand the example. I was like, okay, I'm not understanding where it's bringing in partner as agent and fiduciary. So basically, it's just saying that you are a partner, therefore you must disclose any and all partnerships so that you're not receiving any personal gain out of it and that it's across the board for everybody.
Yes. I think that has to do with it being an agent. When you're an agent of something, you kind of serve that purpose. And being a partner in a partnership, you serve that partnership.
Okay.
So we always go for its benefit. And I like how it states in there that they must remain loyal to the partnership, even though they have this extra information that would help benefit them. They have to give that out to the partnership.
Okay. So when it talks about, okay, so this is what I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around. When it's talking about all this stuff, can all levels of, you know, S corporation, C corporation, LLC, all the different categories have partners, or is there a like, do all of this, did they all apply to everything after? I guess that's where I'm kind of getting confused.
Oh, okay. I think like this is exclusive to like partnerships. An LLC, I mean, it can be a partnership, which then would be applied to. but like LLCs can also be owned by stockholders. So in that case, you wouldn't have this partnership or a partner as an agent or a fiduciary.
No.
So it only applies by case by case.
Okay. So that clears up a lot for me because I was like, I don't know which section this is talking about, and I don't have any idea.
Yeah, some of these are very case by case applicable, I feel.
Okay. Well, and
It does
then,
topics a lot from like sole proprietorship to corporation to.
okay. Because then that's where my other question came in. I was like, okay, so is this still dealing with like the UCC stuff, or are we just on a total different subject now? Like,
Totally different subject now.
okay, because I was like, I'm not grasping that. So, okay. All right. Well, that makes things a lot more clear because I was reading it thinking that it was all encompassing, trying to figure out, well, if it's all encompassing, then how is there any difference between anything? So that helps.
The UCC, I think, deals with relations between business, and these two chapters are just diving into a single business. Like,
Got it.
how are they organized? What kind of privileges or perks come to those that are involved, whether they be just one person, whether they be 3 or 3, or whether they be more than 100 in a corporation.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay, good. So what about for those companies that are stockholder owned?
How many stockholders are we talking about?
Well, like nonprofit organizations that, you know what I'm saying? Like those that are like hospitals that are owned by the employees.
Oh, okay. Like more public things.
Right, yeah.
I know they talk about that in here. Let me see where I can find it. Okay, public or private corporations. Oh, this is where they talk about like quasi-public corporations are like public utilities, privately owned businesses created for public purposes. So that's kind of what you're talking about. Hospitals,
Yeah.
more like utility, like electricity, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it talks about the government, how it's kind of one of those. Let's see. Okay, profit or nonprofit social benefit. I'm gonna read up on this just a little bit. Okay, I think the key point to realize when it comes to a nonprofit for-profit organization, corporation, is that a corporation is a lot like a person. I think that's the detail we need to remember here, that they incorporate so that they have special rights, just as people do to like own property, make contracts, sue. And I mean, with hospitals, I mean, you need to buy equipment, sell, and buy like prescription drugs and other stuff you use for I don't know what, but and then like also to like sue patients that don't pay, or to litigate in some manner. I don't know, to express yourself as a corporation, as the purpose is to help the community and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, they mentioned constituencies.
Right.
That like a purpose. Is that a right definition? Like you have a constituency and you have is that a good synonym? A purpose? I'm gonna keep going afterward.
Let me find it. Oh, stop it. There you go. Stop, Kayla. I have to read it.
Okay, I'm reading up. It says a constituency it lets you consider things other than profit. Most, it talks about in here how most companies are for profit, but a nonprofit doesn't really aim for that. It aims for this constituency, or like their purpose, or
Having, yes,
interest other than profit. I guess
right,
that's what interest other than profit, because your primary interest is usually profit. But this time it's consistency.
right, right. Because just like with, like I know working for a nonprofit hospital, they're more concerned with the constituency because it's return business
Yes.
that helps fund them even more versus the profit they may get from a one-time visit.
Yes.
You know, they focus on the overall. Okay. Yes, that's what I gather. Okay.
But before we go on, did that example look good for our group?
Yeah, I just hate that I didn't have anything to submit to you, so I'm still going to come up with an example and send it to you. So
Okay, that's
if
good.
you want to go ahead and use this, though, I'm fine with that because I do really like the question. I think that would be a good question to submit. So yeah, let's go ahead with your example, and then we will. I'll send you my example just so you know I did do one.
Okay.
So, and again, haven't heard anything from our other group members.
I have not either. I mean, I emailed Marissa about reading,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. So,
Well, and the funny thing is Veronica, who was originally in our group,
uh-huh.
and said that she was dropping the class. I saw she posted something on the Google Plus page saying, "Oh, and when is our case assignments due?" And I was like, "What? I thought you dropped." So
Maybe she got put in different groups. Maybe she did drop and came back in. I mean, I don't know.
may have, very well may have. So okay, yeah, I like your example. That works, and so I will just submit mine so you know I am trying.
That's good. No, you're amazing. You really are.
Oh,
I was a little skeptic because, I mean, there's not many. I don't usually interact with students that are return students that after many years. So,
oh, really?
so I'm really impressed at how good of a student you really are. So
Oh, well, thank you. I try. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and it's killing me right now because I've got a B in the class, and I'm dying.
I know how you feel.
But one of them, it's my fault because one of the tests that we were supposed to do as a review quiz,
Uh-huh.
for some reason it checked it off that I had done it, and I didn't do it, so I got a 0 on it. So I got a big fat 0, and it pulled my grade down. So it's all right. Lesson learned. I always go in and double check now. So
Yeah.
now I just have to get my grade back up.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel bad about having to end early, but if you want to talk more, I'm available either tomorrow or Friday or Saturday.
okay.
I just can't do it tonight as long as.
Okay, yes, that's fine. Well, thank you very much. You cleared up a lot of stuff, and we'll go ahead and submit your example, and then I'll send you mine just so you know I did one.
Okay, sounds great, Alicia. You have a great one.
All right, thanks. You too. Bye.